Today we're going to look at square roots. The square root of a number is a value that when multiplied by itself gives the original number. Let's look at some examples. What is the square root of 81? Well, 9 times 9 gives me 81. So the square root of 81 is equal to 9. What is the square root of 4? Well, 2 times 2 is equal to 4. Therefore, the square root of 4 is 2. So the square root of a number is the value that when multiplied by itself, like 2 multiplied by itself, gives the original number 4. So the square root of 4 is 2. Now, when we get a square root and we get a whole number, that is called a perfect square. The square root of 25, that gives us 5 because 5 times 5 is 25. So 25 is a perfect square. 4 is a perfect square. 81 is a perfect square. The square root of a number can also be negative because negative 9 times negative 9 is equal to positive 81. The square root of positive 4 can also be negative. Negative 2 times negative 2 equals positive 4. 25. The square root of 25 is also negative. Negative 5 times negative 5 is equal to 25. So every square root of a positive number also has a negative root. So it's 5 and negative 5, 2 and negative 2, 9 and negative 9. So you want to remember that. In this video, I'm only going to be showing you the positive roots, but please know that every square root of a positive number has a positive and a negative root. The square root of 225, well, 15 times 15 is equal to 225. So the square root of 225 is 15. And 225 is a perfect square. The square root of 9 is 3 because 3 times 3 is 9. The square root of 196 is 14 because 14 times 14 is 196. The square root of 169 is 13. The square root of 64 is 8. The square root of 289 is 17. And the square root of 100 is 10. So you want to know the square roots up until around 20. So 20 times 20 is 400. So you want to know from 400 downwards the square roots. You could always use your calculator, and that is an option for you to use. Now, we're going to look at square roots that are not perfect squares. So these are done in a different way, but a similar concept. So if we have the square root of 8, the first thing I have to do, I have to determine Which perfect square from here, this page, which perfect square can go into 8? So I know that 4 is a perfect square and that 4 times 2 will give me 8. So I'm going to rewrite this as the square root of 4 times 2. Now I know the square root of 4 is 2, so I can take this out of the radical, and this symbol is called the radical sign, by the way. It's called the radical sign. So I took the 4 out of the radical sign because the square root of 4 is 2, but I'm still left with this 2 in the radical sign, so it's going to stay in there. So the answer is 2 radical 2. Let's look at this one. The square root of 27. So let's see. What square root can go into 27? Well, let's see. If I come back over here, I see 9 is a perfect square. So I know that 9 times 3 is equal to 27. So I'm going to put the radical sign, the square root of 9 times 3. So the square root of 9 is 3. So 3 comes out of the radical, but 3 is not a perfect square, so that stays inside of the radical. So my answer is 3 radical 3. Let's do this one, the square root of 45. So I know that 9 is a perfect square and that 9 times 5 is equal to 45. So I'm going to rewrite it. The square root of 9 is 3. There's no perfect square for 5, so 5 stays inside of the radical. So my answer is 3, the square root of 5. Let's look at this one here. The square root of 162. So what you're going to have to do, you're going to have to get your perfect squares and divide them first to see which one can go into 162. So 162 divided by 9 is equal to 18. I'm seeing that 9 can also go into 18. So I'm going to have to find a bigger perfect square at this point. I'm going to use 81. So 81, the square root of 81 times 2 gives me 162. So I know that the square root of 81 is 9, and there is no perfect square for 2. So I'm just going to leave it as the square root of 2. So our answer is 9, the square root of 2. Now, whenever you see that when you're dividing and you get a number and there's another perfect square in that number, in your answer, you are going to need to find a bigger perfect square. Okay, let's do this one. The square root of 847. So, the square root of 121 times the square root of 7 gives me 847. So what I did ahead of time, I went through all the perfect squares and I divided. I did 847 divided by 121. That gave me 7. So then I knew that 121 and 7 had to go inside of the radical sign. So now the square root of 121 is 11. There's no perfect square for 7, so I just keep it as the square root of 7. So our answer is 11, the square root of 7. If when you are doing these problems and you're asked to put your answer in simplest radical form, this is what it would look like. Let's look at the square root of 224. So when I divide 224 by 16, I get 14. 16 is a perfect square. So inside of the radical sign, I'm going to put 16 times 14. So the square root of 16 times 14 is equal to 224. So I'm going to make the radical sign again. So the square root of 16 is 4. There's no perfect square for 14. So I'm going to bring 14 in there. And our answer is 4, the square root of 14. Let's do this one. The square root of 425. So immediately I saw the 25, so I know that 25 is a factor of 25. So I'm going to rewrite the radical sign, and 425 divided by 25, which is a perfect square, is equal to 17. So the square root of 25 times the square root of 17 equals radical 425, well, the square root of 425. I'm going to rewrite the radical sign. The square root of 25 is 5, and there's no perfect square for 17. The answer is 5, the square root of 17. Let's do one more. The square roots of 735. So I'm going to divide 735 by 49. 735 divided by 49 is 15. So I'm going to rewrite the radical sign. The square root of 49 times the square root of 15 equals the square root of 735. So the square root of 49 is 7. There's no perfect square for 15. So the answer is 7, the square root of 15. Now, the last thing we're going to do is we're going to look at the square root of negative perfect squares. There is no number that when you multiply it by itself is going to give you negative 36. So I'm going to multiply the square root of 36 times negative 1. So the square root of 36 is 6, and we represent the square root of negative 1 as I. And if I were to do the same thing for the square root of negative 49, it's a similar process. I'm going to multiply the square root of positive 49 times the square root of negative 1. The square root of 49 is 7. And then to represent the square root of negative 1, I write I. So this is an overview of how you find the square roots of numbers. Good luck.